Escape and Evasion is a human story, a PTS story, a story that follows a soldier struggling with the actions and decisions that he made during a mission, and how he deals with those decisions when he gets back to civilian life. The story I conceptualised with someone very close to me, and I conceptualised this story about 12 years ago. Escape and Evasion had many different locations over the years of being developed. It started out being an Iraq story, an Afghanistan story, a Syrian story. Always wanting to keep it modern, I brought it into being a Myanmar story. So we set it in the jungle. And then we had to go find jungle in Australia. And the easiest access jungle we thought of was on the Gold Coast. In fact, most of the areas we filmed in have all been filmed in by major Hollywood films like Jurassic Park and King Kong and Aquaman and so forth. It did have its difficulties though. I think once a day or every second day we had somebody, get a tick, bite. There'd be the occasional leech hanging off someone's foot. And I think 3 of our locations had large pythons asleep next to the set, which would make a few people nervous. Whilst we were filming Escape, there was one day when we were actually finishing early. I think it was, from what I can remember, because we had some bad weather, we had to change some scenes around. Incidentally, Bob Donaldson, the first AD, was brilliant at being able to navigate so many different scenes that we had to sort of put together in such a short time. And as we were just thinking about wrapping up, I saw this snake, and it's this big old python just wrapped up asleep in this next to this wood pile. And had a quick chat to the actors and I said, how about if we just quickly knock off a mate scene, like a scene where it shows camaraderie between the 4 characters and there's a snake that sort of becomes part of the conversation. Some of the highlights of the film were like the helicopter scene. We shot that in 2 parts. One part was with our B camera crew in Thailand, and we filmed over like some pagodas and through bits of jungle and stuff in Thailand. I remember a camera operator hanging out of the chopper. It was a lot of fun. And then we had to do the air-to-air stuff, which we did over the valleys and jungles of the Gold Coast. And that was really exciting, being able to just sort of follow this other helicopter and give direction. Okay, yeah, let's swerve this, swerve that way, let's go over the top and shoot down. And a lot of the stuff we were shooting at like 200 frames per second and shooting as the sun was setting, and we got some magical shots. When I started casting Escape and Evasion, I was looking for the lead male needed to definitely pull off that sort of Australian military look, someone that was quite sort of tight-knit and had be able to be convincing as an Australian soldier. But the actual character itself required an actor that had a very strong drama background. It's a big ask, this film, for any actor to be able to play that character. The character was Seth. I must have auditioned 50 male actors. Josh McConville stood out as certainly the actor for the job. He was amazing, and his range was exactly what we needed. The next challenge was actually finding the lead female character, Rebecca, and we actually auditioned about 160 people for the role. And I was quite surprised how much of a challenge this was to find this character. But again, it was I needed a character that could definitely portray a journalist, but could also portray someone really suffering from the loss of, losing their brother and wanting to find the truth. When I found out that that I was going to make my second feature film, I was very excited, and it was great to bring on a lot of the same brilliant crew that had been on my first feature. And I was surprised to find out that so many of them already lived up on the Gold Coast. There's quite a film hub up there, and to see all these familiar faces from my first feature working on my second feature was an absolute delight. And it also gave me a lot of confidence because this was a much bigger film. As we were going through post on Escape, one of our EPs had shown it to the Chinese Golden Rooster 100 Flowers Film Festival, which is China's most prestigious industry awards. And lo and behold, they nominated it as to be part of their Best Foreign Film category. I was gobsmacked. We hadn't even finished the film in post, and here it was already picking up such a massive accolade. And the end of last year, as we were finishing pre, I was lucky enough to travel through China for 2 weeks talking about this film. It was such an honour. And then off the back of that, as we started reaching out to festivals for this film, the Gold Coast Film Festival contacted us and not only asked if Escape and Evasion could be part of their showcase, but actually asked for it to be one of their headlining films. And as a result of that, Escape and Evasion is the closing night film for the Gold Coast Film Festival, which is such an amazing honour.